They did it. They finally fixed the biggest issue that still remained with Planet Coaster 2. They fixed the UI and so much more to see in this video. We are going to look at this speed build they have posted yesterday, a wonderful new video they just posted today about a dark ride with all the good old indoor stuff, really good stuff, and we're going to look at another video they have also posted during the week, so let's jump into it. Right, let's start with the speed build I've uploaded yesterday, and this is one of the first speed builds we can see. This is in the in-game beta footage. So the beta is out, at least for them, I guess, and this is very good to see because a lot has changed. And I'm gonna talk about the first thing that I noticed, and this is the menu being a lot more I should say finished, like just details, okay? I noticed, I was comparing that to my own footage and I was like, okay, this looks a lot more fleshed out because you can see the menu down here has some new icons as it seems. The weather icon and the lighting icon is a bit changed. It all looks a lot more fine, a lot more refreshed, and just like also to the top left, it looks a lot more like with how it was with Planet Zoo. And, you know, it may actually be because there's nothing, you know, opened right now. But during the whole build, you will see there's so much new stuff to see, and it all looks so much more refined now. This is what I was looking for, and you can see that already in the textures of the ground, like the lighting and stuff. I almost feel like that from the moment on they have officially confirmed that ray tracing is actually a thing, and that it's not kind of ray tracing. No, that's actual ray tracing. It seems like they're not holding back anymore with what the engine is capable of, and you can also see that they have fixed some of the major issues in the UI, and this is, for example, having now 2 rows in these little icons over here. You can see these tabs over here are a little more refined. They have a bit more of a nicer addition to them. So it all seems like a computer user would be beneficial or would be benefiting from it more now by having a very clear instruction. It's not much, you know, and this is what I was even saying. It doesn't require much, but it's good to see that they have done this. And so we go in, and the first thing you'll notice over here, and this is something I find very interesting because this is something I was missing when I was placing the path in my playtest, and it gives you a clear indication of which path are going to join together to one now. So if I'm going to go forward the next image, you can see the pathing highlights now how it's done, but you have these 3 pathings, or like paths, entrances joining together to one. And if we continue, you can see how they actually go through. Also, let me just quickly show you the filters. They are also now one by one the filters you are basically know from Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster anyways, but this is actually exactly how it looks in Planet Zoo. I'm very happy that they just took that one. Very simple filter system, and then you go in and have all the themes, and they're just like filtering them. It's not like too crazy that they're putting down these awfully big, I should say, blueprints, but that's fine, you know. I want to look at other things, like obviously the the scenery brush over here is also refined. We finally have some cool little icons over here. They were not actual icons. They were actually just kind of more stylized, I guess. And in this case, even though I'm a big fan of these stylized icons in UIs, because these mostly keep the UI very clean, as you can tell here from the bottom part. And what you also can see down here, it just gives you an idea what you're doing. I like this little touch that you have, like what it tells you to do is apply foliage or cancel. So that's while you're using the brush, it gives you an indication of what you're doing. So this is pretty fine. And also in direct comparison, you can see these icons down here obviously work a lot better, while over here they make a good job in highlighting what pieces are within the filter or within the brush. So that's pretty cool. And then you can see they have their own preset that they're working with. So very cool stuff over here. We can quickly do this. I mean, it's just, let me just quickly play. It's just ridiculous to see how quickly you can put this all down. I mean, obviously the gameplay is sped up a little, and I'm going to keep that running here for the next blueprint. And again, just as a little hint, this is a download from their Twitter feed. It's not full quality, and then I'm rendering that again. So this is not the graphics you will be seeing afterwards. This is a less quality than you will have if you play it yourself, but you can still tell how much detail you can find in this tree over here. I'm not sure if I've seen this tree ever in all of these things, but I'm like very much looking into these things, how much detail they pack in there right now. I'm gonna skip forward real quick
because we don't need to go into all these details right now. What I want to highlight though is, and just check the background over here. This has a lot, and I didn't know exactly what to compare that to first, but this looks a lot like Jurassic World Evolution does in the background. And I'm a big fan of that because they have a very cool way of making the background look super nice and realistic without having too many details in. If you directly compare that to the background in Planet Coaster, for example, or also in Planet Zoo, you always have that issue that the LODs, the level of detail, which help to save some performance. So the further away you're from trees, for example, the lesser details will be shown. This is just a way of saving performance in games, because why would you need to render all leaves of a tree that is like legit all the way in the background? However, if you don't have any shaders or other things that would hide this away, you normally cover this maybe with a depth of field. We all know that many people don't like to play with this heavy depth of field because that's kind of annoying. There is this way of using lighting and shaders and some subtle mist, so to say, to cover this, and this is obviously something very nice they do in Jurassic World Evolution with like the typical tropical environment, but they also mastered that in Jurassic World Evolution 2 on the other maps, making it very hazy in like the desert maps, and also in the snowy maps you have that kind of cool filter, and it seems like they have kind of taken that for this game as well, as you can see here in the background. I'm a big fan of that. There's even a better shot now where you can see that, how these different layers apply to this, and it looks so freaking cool. Really big fan. Here we can see again how it is a lot better now with the pathing attached to it. I'm also like a huge fan of how the pathing works. I mean, this is another pool. Again, you can see the lighting here on the pool's water. Everything is super nice, like very realism oriented, even though still people complain about the contrast and how bright and colorful this all is. I must say, specifically in this footage over here, I don't have any of these feelings anymore. It is a sunny area, it is a tropical map, as you can see, and it looks realistic for that area. Yes, I would say if this is the same kind of coloring in other biomes, then it may look a bit off, but in here, that just completely fits. I mean, here you can see that looks a bit more refined now, this image. Like, as I said, the rendering is always a bit of an issue, but this looks very fine. Look at the detail in these little kind of tiny waves you have on the pool. It just screams like it seems to be like very early in the morning, and so that's just kind of the lighting you get from it. So I'm very pleased, and this video over here single-handedly make me twice as hyped now. I love the fact how they also like look at how they fix this kind of edge over here now. I'm a huge fan of that. You know, they just use I'm gonna just go back again because that is just so good, so satisfying. Look, they just use the how's that called, to fix the edge, or kind of just grab that as you would grab the fences in Planet Zoo. Big fan of this because just like easily how it fixes it, and then boom, you have the perfectly fine line. There is even a tool, I'm wondering why they didn't use that one, but there is also the smooth tool. They do obviously over here edit the two nodes, but there's also this one over here, as you can see, with the rounded edges. Basically does exactly this. Like if you use this tool, and I tried that out, it worked pretty well. It just kind of organically levels out this kind of edge and just kind of straightens it out, just as we used to do that with our smooth trick in the previous Planet game. So that's what they do over here. Again, I don't want to spend too much time. We see some scaling, blah blah blah. This is all something we have already seen. Don't want to spend too much time on it. I was trying to see something on the coasters again, yet again nothing, and the stations still look like the stations. As you can see over here, this is the station. Very odd thing that my brother actually pointed out is that this station again only has one entrance and then one big exit, but it only has like one entrance for 2 lanes of 8 people. So normally you only have like up to 4 people, I believe, in these kind of queue segments over here. So would that mean you have 8 people queuing up in here and the rest goes here? It's kind of a little bit weird because like what's with all that empty space? And you know, I'm losing hope at the moment because we're getting closer and closer, and this is obviously already beta footage, so I'm not even trying to, you know, set this as a given that they would change too much about it. I'm still having hope that there's a big bang at the end and they're like, hey, you go, we always fooled you with all the stations. I don't really believe in that anymore because it's too late and we would have seen anything. The only tiny thing that still makes me remain hopeful is the fact that even with this Thorpe Park Activision that they just showed yesterday, they had some creators over at Thorpe Park, even they were asked not to put down, for example, the F Division, which is the one with the conveyor belt and seemingly one with a completely different station. So yeah, there is my hope that this may be the little secret they're keeping until the very end. But other than that, it's just a coaster, a couple of blueprints being put down. It's very nice to see how they just like quickly put together a very, 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 very nice little area in terms of how quickly you can do this. Nothing like we would build, nothing that is anything close to what I would do. And also they don't really make use of the new pathing at all. Like, it's super odd why you wouldn't just fill in all the stuff with like a huge plaza as a, you know, park would do it, because obviously the tool would give you and allow you to do that. I think at this point it would be easier to just slam down a huge plaza and then just cut out holes for what you want to do, rather than, you know, doing the other way around, because now it's easy. You can just plop down flat rides and stuff on top, and then in order to make sure that people don't go into your stuff and don't clip through it, you can just easily go and stamp out these areas with the reverse stamp tool. Yeah, but it's nice still, nevertheless, that they do this. And the biggest thing is this over here, guys. Yes, it's the biggest thing. I said that at the beginning. Finally, the menu stays open while building. Here you go, you have it. This is the confirmation. And again, the whole menu looks a lot more PC oriented now. I can't even say exactly what it is, but like just the way these little icons down here in the left work, there's no layering anymore. Then you have this typical kind of close UI button over here to the right hand side, like very similar to how it was on computer. And oh boy, am I hopeful that this is it. But you can see, if I keep it playing, you can see the menu stays open while they were editing in here. And I believe in a second there's also some editing going on with the advanced move tool while it stays open. Let me just see if that works somewhere over here. Like it seems almost like they can do both. This is a blueprint, so don't let yourself be fooled by that. Where was that again? I feel like it was somewhere in here too. Also crazy how many things they plop in here. Okay, maybe that wasn't the case. Where was that again? I figure it was, but nevertheless, you can see that the menu stays open. And I think even if you, okay, this is foliage brush, so even if you would now do advanced move with these pieces, it technically should stay open nevertheless, so that doesn't make any big difference. But the menu stays open. This is the most important thing to note. Also, look at all these different lights, and a returning one. This one over here is from Planko 1. I'm very happy to see that. This was one of the lights I've used the most in my entire history of Planet Coaster. And I also have the feeling that over here, the menu down here, look at that, this also looks so much more fleshed out. Weren't all these tools down here somewhere? I don't really know exactly, but I have to compare that to the other UI, and if it is a complete difference, I will put the screenshot on here now to have a comparison, but I don't really know if exactly. Anyhow, so let's move on to the next footage, because there's more to talk about. Speaking of flexing your muscles, this is definitely flexing your muscles at its peak. Look what they have shown us with this Darkride they posted today, and it looks so fantastic. I mean, this is what you get if you have full Darkrides and a capable lighting engine with ray tracing, and this looks freaking fantastic. You can see how they basically, the only thing is also the water VFX over here seem to have a little issue anyways. I love this kind of Moana style glyphs in here. Really reminds me of Moana, even though this is the Viking set, but or mythology, I don't know even what they would use over here, but look at the different light. I mean, just look at that, how the lighting works with the ray traced capabilities. It's just so good with the green in here, and the green doesn't shade in here to the left hand side. Like this would be in the old games, it would have been like a mess with the lighting, because this statue over here wouldn't have casted or like sucked in all the light as it does over here, and you would still have the green tint here to the other light and vice versa. And now you have it lit from both sides nicely, like with the orange color from the left and the greenish from the right, and it's super realistic. And look at all the detail here in the texture. Oh, this is just ridiculous how good it looks. Also, like everything in here from the lighting, you can see there's the light source over here. Seemingly they did something like an air vent system to the top, which is super realistic for dark rides. Really love that. And then to the top left, it almost is pitch black, so as you would expect it to be. We have a nether portal over here. Excuse me, this is whatever this is. This is definitely nether portal. There's no denial about that. And just everything about this looks absolutely fantastic. And then yes, of course, we do get to see the ride, the trackless one going through here, and it just looks so fantastic. Next up is the wonderful multiverse coaster build that we've gotten also on TikTok and on the short section. Yet again, I believe this was actually the first beta footage we ever saw. And in here, there's also so much I would love to talk about, but we did most of it already. Graphics, really great. Everything over here, the way the iron is, you know, the way how all the glowing works, and it's not like overgrown, it's not like over reflective or anything like that, and you can really tell the difference between the wood and the metal and how everything is glossy and not glossy, and just everything really looks fantastic. Look at the lighting on the palm leaves over here in comparison to the stone, in comparison to the wood and stuff. I am really much into that, and I love that, but yeah, you really got to say that this looks fantastic. Now onto the Switch track, as you can see over here, and I gotta say they improved finally a little bit of the UI to understand where is what. This was actually in the playtest a little bit funky to do, and now you can really tell where it goes. The only thing that I wish that we will be able to do this is actually to enlarge the piece here in the back, because as you can see, there's only one attach point over here to edit that, so hopefully this is going to be fixed. But what I gotta say is that now, as they have all the modules presumably fleshed out, you've seen this potentially in all these thought park videos of the people building actually Hyperion, and they also showed that most of the pieces of this coaster over here are now fully functioning, which if you remember my playtest, there were a lot of these like turntables and stuff. They technically worked, but the visuals weren't adjusted, so this is finally done. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep that running for a second here, because you can really tell, like, I really love these kind of little breaks over here. Also, I just love the visuals. You can really tell how much better it all looks now. Again, as I said earlier with the other footage, the background looks so much more sharp and crisp by having the right details and shaders. And over here, this is very interesting. I saw people in the comments, and that was pretty interesting to me, saying, "Hey, why is it so choppy?" Like, just playing that again here, you can see that with the piece sliding into position. It's not choppy, okay? It's exactly how it is. This bounce is realistic, like how a realistic track piece would move in. And like, this is the odd thing about Frontier with all their games. Like, they have a weird obsession with a level of detail in certain things that it feels so odd that we don't see any kind of improvement on the stations and so on, while they're like so freaking precise in here. And I mean, just looks fantastic how that worked. Like, the coaster goes over now into a different direction. It just gives us so many more options now to place pieces down and make our coasters amazing. Also, a little shout out to the music in this video, because this is the music from the speed build, and if you didn't notice that yourself, there is some stuff in there that you may know or may not know, but this is the original sound from Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 soaked the sound samples if you zoom out the menu. If I'll find that online, I'm gonna plop a sample in right now, and then you'll be able to hear it. I mean, this is such a cool nod to their own game, obviously, and their own sound design. And it just ties in then to the classic Planet Coaster music. So it just has that new Planet Coaster vibe mixed with the soaked vibe from back in the day. I really love that. Other than that, I'm really, really hyped to see that they have been working so hard on getting things a lot better. I didn't go too deep into that to not make it super crazy long. You could go into very more details about how the menu now seemingly works a bit nicer. We haven't seen too much about the management menus, gladly, if they are fixed or not. But for me, for what I will use, and hopefully most of the people, I guess, will use, this looks so good. Also, how the pathing looks to be a lot more stable now with having these little guidance arrows, as you can already see on this screen as well. Seeing the graphics being awfully improved over the background and just the foreground and the lighting, and specifically with that Darkride we've seen. There is so much good stuff, and the biggest UI fix is obviously something I am mega happy about. This took away one of my biggest fears, honestly, and now I'm just hyped. there will be another video coming out these couple days about the future of Planet Coaster 2. It may sound strange, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be a good video, trust me. It's, I need some more time to make it a good video and not to make it rushed or anything, but it's gonna be very interesting, hopefully, for you. I just love being able to talk about that still, because, you know, we are so close to the release and I can't wait for that. But yeah, I'm just very, very hyped, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you want to have more updates on this, more news, and you want to see all the builds in time and so on, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, YouTube is actively unsubscribing people, so please double check if you're still subscribed. This helps me the most, you know, to show the algorithm it should love me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a good time and bye.